When we started working on this play, and we had quite a few meetings, all of the design team on this project, starting probably way back in last September or something like that. And there were a lot of ideas thrown around. I think the key things, a lot of stuff we discussed and got thrown out. Kind of the major thing that we discussed lighting-wise was kind of an organic quality, that the piece needed to have kind of an organic quality and a very fluid quality, just in the way that it moved. And the other thing that was really critical, that's really critical lighting-wise in the piece that we've been discussing and still are in discussion about ultimately is how to tell all the different layers of the story and how to kind of clarify all the different points of view of all the different people telling the story. As you know from the piece, it's a pretty complicated piece. Being adapted from a novel makes it a harder kind of theatrical storytelling because you have people telling you the story in a direct address. You have people interacting with each other on stage and kind of having a dialogue together on stage. You have people remembering aspects of the story and telling you that. You have people living the story in the present. And so it's kind of up to the lighting and Eric's direction to kind of clarify all those different levels of storytelling for the audience. I mean, on any good production, they're all integrated very carefully and seamlessly. It doesn't always happen that way. In this instance, this is a really kind of a great set to light, and we knew from the very beginning that the sheets were going to be a wonderful surface to cast light on and to throw shadows on and to play with from a lighting point of view. But of course, all great things have their drawbacks, so they're often in the way of like some of the critical lights that we need at a particular moment. We all started out, it's very funny, the very first image that we looked at for the show is actually the image that we landed on. And I'm sure you may have seen it, or it's an image of these blue sheets kind of blowing in the wind. And we started there and we went all around and all over and ended up coming back to that image. And when the audience walks in to see the show, that's the image that they see right off of the bat. And we tried to match that color with the lighting and give the sheets that kind of exact same quality as that photograph. The space in the world of this play seems to be in constant transformation throughout the whole piece, just by arranging and rearranging and removing and adding sheets. That kind of changes the physical area that's available for the actors to play in. And then I think in just about any show, lighting is also just incredibly important and incredibly transformative, and often is the only element of design that can transform the space. And if you're in a different situation, if it was a single box set and you had to have one moment where the play didn't happen within that box set, more often than not, it's going to be the lighting designer or the lighting department's job to make that single box set turn into a forest or a cloud or whatever it is that it needs to be. So really just with kind of color of light and quality of light and angle of light, those are all huge transformative gestures within the vocabulary of any lighting designer. In this particular instance, once again, the sheets play a huge part in that transformation. As we said, by removing sheets, it changes the physical space, but there are times when we're projecting the shadows of the three townswomen onto the sheets, and we're not seeing anything else, so all of a sudden those sheets are kind of representing the town, or helping to represent this conversation that the three gossips are having. At other moments, that same sheet that's just had the three women projected on it has all of a sudden a tree branches or a deep blue projected on it, and that also is really important for the transformation. There's also one of the things, the way that the sheets were laid out informed my design just in terms of how the stage could be broken up and what the various areas of the stage are, and that's another transformative kind of element, that we have the ability to light just the downright platform or just the upright platform, which kind of has turned into Mrs. Breedlove's house, or for a moment we can light just the stairs and the doorway, and Mama can open up the door and have a big speech up there and just slam the door, and and even though the girls are outdoors telling us their story from outdoors and they remember Mama, all of a sudden she's there. There's a huge amount that's available for people seeing this show to be taken away. I mean, one of the greatest things is you get to see a novel that just about everybody's familiar with kind of brought to life, and that's not something that often happens. The kind of the story of the girls, that's an amazing story, and there's lots to be learned there and lots to be taken away from that. I think if you were watching it with the play with an eye towards storytelling, there's kind of some great storytelling tricks and storytelling moments that you could kind of take away from the piece. There's certainly, as we discussed earlier, the transformative quality of the space. There's kind of a transformative quality of people and life that the play represents, and like how all of these events that you've just witnessed have affected these people, and all of these people have grown through them or not grown through them. I mean, seems like Frida and Claudia start the play in a totally different place than they end the play, and certainly Piccola is a sweet, young, innocent girl at the beginning, and at the end, she's a little bit mad, as she should be, given the events that have happened to her throughout the piece. But it's a good story, and I think there's lots to be taken away from it.